Ready?
Yay!
Yay!
We have a draft!
We have a draft. I'm very excited.
You're having a giraffe, mate!
Now I just need to get everything ready for the draft phase, because apparently the real-time drafting interface is ready to rock and roll. I just need to get it into the correct position so I actually have it on the stream. There we go.
Good
now
plan.
I can actually pull it up like this. Oh my word!
Alright, and they have a timer!
They have a timer.
It's so good!
It's like the best. So
this is the best.
apparently there is only one ban on each side this time, not two.
Yeah, it's a slightly different drafting system to what we're used to in some of the other tournaments. But either way, we're actually going to get it done. So right now, 20 seconds left.
Oh yeah.
They have started, so hopefully BKB was paying attention when Ace joined, and will in fact be ready to do their ban. But this is a very nice system. I'm very impressed with this.
This is a very, very nice system. It actually has a timer. So first off, ban is going to be Tychus, and well, do we really need to explain why you would want to ban out Tychus? I mean, he has been in pretty much every single game, whether it is as a pick or as a ban.
Yeah, pretty much. Tychus is considered by pretty much everyone to be the top level assassin. He is almost always the first pick. He is on the same tier as the majority of the other tier ones who are all supports or warriors. He is the only assassin to really make it into that tier 1 in terms of, I really want this pick. And there's another one of the tier 1s. It is Stitches.
Yeah, so that's the other warrior, but that leaves open Uther, Tassadar and Arthas, so it's most likely going to be Uther going over to SK, and then Tassadar and Arthas going over to mYinsanity, unless, of course, SK decides to pick up either one of those three. I mean, they don't have to pick up Uther, but we've pretty much seen Uther in every single winning composition.
Yep, and you
there we
were
go.
Exactly right. Uther is 100% called out, and apparently I was right. It was Thorsvane who was the Spoon Terran. Hooray! I know my StarCraft players barely. So, if we're going by our usual stuff here, the next two selected should be Tassadar and Arthas.
Yep, that's what I'm expecting.
Or Arthas and Tyrael, if they really, really want to give away Tassadar. But I expect it will be Tassadar as the pickup, and then yeah, Arthas, Tyrael, or Anubarak are the next level of warriors in terms of pick order.
I totally agree here, and our Tassadar is going to be picked up. Yeah, I don't like picking up Tyrael without Uther next to it.
I would agree.
To be honest.
The whole point of Tyrael is so that you can judgment into an area, which basically CC'd everyone with just enough time for Uther to get in there. There's Arthas as the first pick, and their second pick, as I'm sure we can guess.
Okay, there we go, it's Tyrael.
Okay, so that means they are giving up Tassadar if they want, but that's going to leave that's definitely going to leave SK with not as many options when it comes to warriors if they choose to go for Tassadar.
Yeah, but they do get two pickups here, and there's no additional banning phase, so they could go for Tassadar into Anubarak, because they know that none of those can get banned out because of this system. And the other option is going for Tassadar and Nova, perhaps, because Nova has been very, very important for all those matches that we've seen before.
Yeah, I think I'd say Nova would be a pretty solid pick, especially in the current meta. But they probably are going to want to get a more solid assassin on their part. But it's also very important for them that they bring out at least one good warrior if they're going for Tassadar. So I think Anubarak is likely to be one of these two pickups, just to ensure that they get something solid under their belt. But Nova is a pretty solid pickup as well if that's what they decide to go for.
Yeah, so my prediction, Tassadar and Nova.
Tassadar, and I'll go with Anubarak as the second one.
We don't see it yet.
So you go Nova, you have Anubarak.
Oh.
Wait, no, you have Nova, I have Anubarak.
Yeah, I have Nova, you have Anubarak.
I like the little games. We're probably both going to be wrong, and it's going to be Falstad.
No, it's going to be Asmodee.
Or Rhaegar, or one of the many, many heroes that these teams play. These are two of the most versatile teams in Europe at the moment as well. They're very open to their alternative picks.
Yeah, very, very true indeed. But apparently they get another 40 seconds on their timer, so we can just assume what these team compositions are going to be like. So supposedly, oh, It is going to be
Falstad,
fast. We were both wrong.
No, I called it. I called it.
Well, you called it, but you settled for a Nubarak.
I did. I thought a Nubrak would be a solid choice, but you were right earlier due to the fact that mYinsanity already have their 2 warriors, so it's unlikely they're going to take a Nubrak away, and there's no bans here, so they're no more bans, so they're not just going to have the Nubrak banned out from them, so they're going to get that as a solid selection anyway.
I'm expecting here a Rhaegar Raynor pickup.
I would agree. I think that's an incredibly solid prediction, and I'm not even going to dispute that unless they are swapping out Raynor for Nova. That's the only reason I would expect otherwise.
Yeah, but Nova wouldn't work as well with the Bloodlust as Raynor. However, the Earth Shield would work wonders with the Hotshots ability from Nova.
It's true. If you took the extra damage on it, they'd go for Illidan.
I give up.
MYI have been known to use Illidan to great effect, and against this particular team comp, it's quite interesting because one of the biggest issues with this team comp is both Falstad and Tassadar can escape. Like, once they've been CC'd by Tyrael or Arthas or someone like that, they have a little dash or a phase shift, which allows them, once the CC expires on Falstad, of course, it gives them another chance to get away. Illidan basically negates that due to incredible chase potential. And because of that incredible chase, I'm almost positive that their next pick here will be Rhaegar, because it definitely looks like they're going for a bit more of a high damage comp, and Rhaegar with the Ancestral Healing or the Bloodlust, depending on the situation they're in, more likely Ancestral Healing.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be Rhaegar plus an Assassin. In the end, at least Rhaegar was fine, but no!
It's Nova.
Nova. Yeah, I guess it would work, because you can save Rhaegar for the final pick, because the opposing team already has their 2 supports.
It's true. No real reason to pick it out, unless they decide to go for the Bane of Ladder, that is the double support comp, which has happened. Also the quadruple support and then 1 assassin comp. It has happened in the past, and it's quite amusing.
And given that this is a best of 3, the teams are going to just feel each other out in game number 1, I imagine. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we got to the point where the tributes were spawning. Actually, we're playing on the same map.
Yes, it's the same map, completely different comps at the moment, though. And at the moment, looking at this, I think MYI is bringing out the better comp here. Like, their team is incredibly burst heavy, which is going to be amazing. But SK have the slight advantage of their only damage dealer, except for possibly Tassadar here, is Falstad, who has to get off all his abilities before he gets kicked out of the game by basically being wrecked by Nova and Illidan. But here we see a Diablo.
And that was to be expected.
No Nubarak.
They had to pick up
the last one.
They had to pick up a warrior, and Diablo in this case is excellent in peeling people away from your assassin. I mean, a Nubarak, he's pretty good at catching people with his impale and of course his deep tunneling. But Diablo is even better at taking someone such as an Illidan away from your assassin and just putting him. Well, in a box. I don't know. It could be a box, could be anything. But just saying, okay, you're out of the fight. Yeah, he's going in timeout.
I'd agree. I think Anubarak will probably be their last pickup as well, unless they're going for another assassin like Raynor. But like you said, Diablo, a very solid pick, considering that Illidan is going to be all up on Falstad or all up on Tassadar for the majority of the fights. With Diablo, you can really keep Illidan down because all his abilities go through Illidan's evasion. And if you can CC Illidan throughout the entirety of his evasion, once that evasion is popped, all he has is First Aid and Stone Shield to protect himself.
Yeah, there we go.
There's a Nubarak to add that extra CC. So now we have a lot of CC in the form of Ufa Stun, Diablo CC, and a Nubarak knockup. It's a very... SK, with those 2 last pickups, have really turned the draft around to look really pretty solid for them.
Yeah, I actually like how they picked up those 2 warriors here instead of going for the Raynor, now that I've been thinking about it a little bit more. What they have a long-range assassin with the shotgun off, for instance. They also have a assassin that has a lot of mobility, with, of course, his barrel roll. If you just put a wall in front of your assassin that's already very mobile, it's pretty much going to be impossible to actually get the kill onto the assassin, which means that he'll never be taken out of the fight whatsoever. You have the heals from Uther, you have the... Oh, there we go. We have Brightwing.
pretty
Interesting
much the
pickup there.
only support that they had left except for Malfurion, and Brightwing a bit more useful here. If Diablo's trying to CC your Assassin, or if you can't get to the Assassin because you're being CC'd by Diablo and a Nubarak, then it's pretty easy for you to just turn it around. I'm just going to ready up in game here. It's pretty easy for you to turn it around and just polymorph the Assassin until you can get out of that CC, just so your own Assassins don't get burst down while the Diablo and a Nubarak CC is active.
Alright, so for those who are asking, we have the teams locked in, we have the heroes locked in, we have the map. It's going to be Cursed Hollow for game number 1. And it's going to be Tyrael, Brightwing, Illidan, Arthas, and Nova against a team of Falstad, Tassadar, a big plus, Anubarak, and Uther.
Yeah, that big plus is in fact Diablo in this case.
Hey,
So we are 6 out of 10 readied up. Hopefully the players will ready up soon and we can get into the game.
Alright, I'll just tell them to go, 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 and then we're ready to rock and roll here in the Heroes Premier League. And we have been delayed a little bit due to server issues, but it looks like we finally get a chance to watch SK versus mYi, the legendary match that no one has ever seen before.
The match that some said was too legendary to happen outside of LAN will finally be happening here in the Heroes Pro League. 9 out of 10 players readied up. It will be happening here soon when BKB readies up.
Yeah, we're waiting for
Please.
Burger King Boy. It's just taking a little bit. Costas give us the okay. That is correct.
Yes, we have given okay. Yes, they've readied up. Someone hit start game.
Start game?
Yes, yes, we are all ready. That's why we've all hit the ready button.
Exactly, that's the beauty
That
of
is
this
the-
game.
that's the
Alright,
point of the ready
5,
button.
4, 3, 2, 1. We're going into the game. You can hear it in the background, and I'm switching to my overlay. We're going to be playing on the Cursed Hollow, and for those who have been wondering, what is the Cursed Hollow? Well, the Cursed Hollow, you have to collect tributes, you have to curse your enemies by collecting 3 of them, and then your enemies are cursed. That means that their force and minions will not attack, minions will attack, but their minions will be reduced to 1 hit point, so that pretty much means that they're not going to do anything whatsoever. Good moment to start pushing, and, well, Thatcher, are we going to see something here? Are we going to see a good match?
I think that's all we're going to see. We're only going to see good matches for the entirety of this best of 3. And the biggest thing we have to point out here is this, right now, is for first place in the Premier League. Both these teams, 4 matches, 4 wins. Someone has to lose here. Unless they find a way to draw, someone has to lose and ruin the spree. And move to 2nd place.
I
in
like
the league.
your thinking. Someone has to lose because you can't both win. I
Unless
totally
there's a
agree.
draw. But then
Logic.
you both lose if there's a draw.
You should change the name to Logicer.
Logic.
Logicer.
Yes, as most people know, the best logic is if you don't win, you've probably lost.
Yeah, that's true. You should be
I believe,
called.
I believe that was your quote from yesterday, in fact.
You're stealing my quotes. Well, from now I'm just going to call you Logitech.
Boo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, all funny business aside, we are looking at mYi versus SK, and it's, I believe, mYi in the blue trunks versus SK in the red ones.
That is, in fact, correct. We're seeing both teams hanging around the mid lane a bit, with SK a bit more visible in their hiding than mYi. mYi hiding, looking when SK decide to roam down to the bot lane by the looks of it, just hanging around there waiting for the opportune moment. But SK, having none of it, have already rotated back towards their hard camp. And this is something we see SK do a bit more than mYi. Go for those really quick merc camps rather than risking the early gank or waiting for this kind of bushwhack strategy that mYi is so fond of.
Yeah, and this is basically what gave them the leads in the previous match, or at least didn't lose them that early game. And that's also something we have to be looking at when we're looking at mYi. mYi is a team that usually loses their early game and then comes back in the late game, whereas SK is a team that's always very solid. And now that the easy camp has been picked up by the team of SK, mYi knows, well, we'll just have to reply with that by taking our own easy camp. But that means a little bit too late, and that is giving the advantage over to the team of SK.
Very much so. mYi playing a bit more of a reactory game here, just trying to match SK for Merc Camp here. But SK are already on their hard camp, have already taken out the wizard, and they're just going to clear this quite quickly, trying to let the Locust tank dealing with the shields. And I'm liking that they are using Tassadar here as the second roamer instead of Diablo, as most
Oh,
teams
this is
do
even
seem to
better.
go
Look
for
at
it.
myi.
Oh, that's
They're coming
bad.
in.
Diablo's already reacting to this. Brightwing DBZs and stolen. That's nice.
Wow, that was amazing by myi. They actually, and this time they weren't reactive, they were proactive. They expected SK to go for the hard camp and immediately made their way over there. They had the siege golems in the top lane, which meant that Zarmany could not leave his top lane without losing a lot of his structures there. So very, very well played. But at the same time, those mercenaries have been stopped by BZ and BKB. But that was pretty intense already at the start of the match.
Very much so. And something else quite important I'd like to point out here is I did point out that they are using BZ on the Tassadar as the second roamer here, as opposed to another warrior. Whereas, if we go on the other side, we have Shinobu on the Nova is the one in lane, leaving Illidan as the second roamer and the jungler. Nova, not the best laner, very slow at clearing waves. Usually quite good at ganking, but instead she's just keeping Linked as busy as possible. But first tribute spawned, and we're not even going to see SK try and contest this. mY just going to scoop this up straight away.
Yeah, SK probably knows that myi is already on the tribute, and probably after what happened at the hard camp, they decide, Brightwing can come in at any moment, we're not going to risk it. They give over the first tribute. It's not that hard. It's not just such a big problem, because the first tribute doesn't do anything at all. It's only when you got 3 of them that something happens. So for now, giving up the first tribute is not really such a bad thing. And this is also something that myi is doing in the top lane. The bushwhack strategy that they like so much. Just like you said, Thatcher, they're waiting for that gank in the top lane. Zarmany in a lot of trouble if he decides to go to the bottom side of the lane.
True, if he ventures too far forward or goes to the bottom side, he could, in fact, if he wanted to right now, just fly over it. And the issue that SK have here is they've dropped down a bit in levels. Even though myi were able to take that first tribute without very much difficulty, they didn't get the level. SK didn't get a level advantage for letting it go, and here they're once again not going to really do much to contest this tribute. They're going to completely ignore it. They're not even going to stay in the mid lane to get the level advantage. They're just leaving one person in top and bottom lane, and they're going to take their own boss camp.
That's actually a very smart idea by SK, and this was something we've been seeing in other tournaments as well. They opt to go for the big mercenaries before they go for the first tribute, and that boss should put a lot of pressure onto Brightwing. However, it's going to turn into a 5 versus 5 fight. There's Root, Diablo in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they did not take the boss quick enough, and now we are going to see a team fight on boss. No one gets stunned by the golem there, but it's very close. Golem is quite low. myi looking a bit better in the health stuff here. Roll is already lowered in. BKB just goes straight in. Nice knock up onto pretty much everyone. Zarmany gets envenomed and shielded by BZ, so he is alive. Tyrael did go down for myi, but he takes down a Nubrak on the way out. And it Ace of Spades sneaks the golem in the background. Very nice there. But kill-wise,
Wow.
SK did come out a bit ahead, and the tribute has spawned right here. So they aren't looking too bad, but they have to deal with this golem. It's basically up to Linked to see if he can sneak this, but Lowell is already here to try and dispute that.
Yeah, that golem has to be dealt with. Linked is actually on the way already. Lowell, will he dash over the wall? He has to be fast though. He jumps straight onto Linked. Actually, Link getting a little bit of help there from BZ as well as from Burger King Boy, but it doesn't quite. Well, he doesn't quite get there, and Lowell managed.
It's the curse.
Yeah, it's the curse. myi with a beautiful push there in the top lane. The Grave Golem now, pretty much, he's going to be undeterred by any of the forts. Just look at the damage that it's already dealing. And myi is rotating to the top lane. They're onto Rawl. Rawl taking quite a bit of damage. He's dangerously low. As both the Judgment, precision strike now from Nova. That's the kill onto Diablo. They're chasing now Uther as well. Uther has gone down, and you were talking about how SK had the kill advantage. I'm pretty sure that just got negated.
Yeah, myi managed to catch up here magnificently. Oh, I'd say catch up. They've actually been ahead this entire time, but that was incredible play. Able to get that curse while the golem that they stole from SK was active, and SK just didn't put enough pressure onto those tributes. myi, it does not take long to grab a tribute, and as you saw there, they were able to grab that tribute and then immediately rotate up to where they knew SK would be, dispute the golem, take the golem, And now that golem has only just died in the top lane, already getting to tier 2 towers.
Has destroyed a fort.
Yeah, you have to consider a few things here, and that's basically you were talking about the Grave Golem, how it was stolen by Ace of Spades. That was critical in getting the tribute.
Enough.
If SK didn't have to go for their for defending their top lane, then they would have been able to take that tribute because they had that numbers advantage. They had a little bit of a better positioning there, and yeah, it was a very risky play by SK to take the Grave Golem. But again, mYi is predicting where SK is going.
This is indeed the case, and mYi are currently just moving up to just their inside of SK's jungle, just taking as much stuff as possible. They're going to be able to take this hard camp as well, and Fred's even taking the time to kill off a couple minions.
For now though, Fred is going to get chased down, he gets knocked up, tanks up a lot of the damage. His precision strike doesn't actually hits a lot of them, and the team fight continues as a shock on all lands. But
Ooh,
is it going to be enough?
That was a great apocalypse by Ra, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Lao is still alive with the thanks to the first aid and the heals from the Brightwing. And there goes the rest of SK. We see the phase shift used by BZ there. The ice has gone down and BZ gets popped. It's just Ral and Zarmony. Ral did come back thanks to his souls, but he's not going to be able to get anything. Trying to get wrong, even the fireball doesn't hit. And now Ral is seriously out of position. Is the ice route up? Doesn't matter. Death Coil does kill off Ral, and that is... Wow, that's
a
incredible.
domination. That's a domination. The entire team of SK just got wiped one after another by the team of mYinsanity, and nobody died on the side of mYinsanity. That is huge. They were so far ahead. SK should never have picked that fight with mYi. They should have just defended and hoped that they could come back due to the experience boost that you get when you're behind.
This is true. They are currently a talent behind. They're about to hit level 13, which will give them the talent that will get them back in. Whereas mYi currently racing towards level 16 so that they can get that one talent ahead again. At the moment, talent's fairly standard on both sides. A very shield-heavy build by BKB, which just isn't helping against the huge damage coming out from Lowell and Shinobu here. And it's just not helping. Whereas Brightwing, with the blink heal and the gust of healing, which is just the activate healing, so she can just release a burst if Lowell starts going down or something. It's just very hard to kill off the assassins. They're just too strong thanks to the first aid on Lowell on the Illidan, and Ace of Spades just protecting them with Freds and Araragi in the front line.
So another thing that just happened was another tribute spawning on the side of mYi, and you saw SK, they were like, okay, we cannot fight at this point. We tried to fight just a little bit before, and they're now just going to try and regroup, get themselves that talent back, because they have to fight before mYi hits level 20. That's basically something that has to happen. They have to get the talent and then fight before the second heroic talent unlocks for mYi. However, mYi is already on the boss camp, and that might just be enough for them to push down that top lane.
Yeah, they are already starting on this. Tassadar did Oracle earlier, so he knew that mYi were hanging around in this area. And the fact that Araragi is up here clearing the way for when the golem comes, they suspect very much so. They're going to try and dash in. There's the Ufa Split Divine Storm. Fred is still able to take the golem while this is going on. Ral has come in. Apocalypse was dropped, did land a couple stuns. And this is actually looking pretty good for SK. Brightwing is already down. There goes Tyrael. But Lowell is still dealing the damage. Down goes Falstad. BKB was somehow popped there, and BZ is now being chased down by Fred. Somehow Shinobu got out of that alive, barely. But this is not looking good again for SK. Once again, Shinobu dropping really low thanks to that side storm, but still escaping.
So now the team of mYi has a Grave Golem in the top lane. They have 10 seconds on the initial respawn timer of, I believe, Anubarak. He is not going to be able to stop mYi's assault here, so they're going to lose a keep for this one.
Yep, they're going to lose a keep for this one. And I'd also like to point out that we have triple blood for blood on the side of mYi here. They're just going to steal as much health from SK as possible because of the Diablo, because of the Anubarak, because of the Ufa. Literally, they just going to slow them down, steal their health, and deal the damage needed to take them down. And it's a very nice build, but very, very evil.
Well, This game is not about good or evil, it's about who wins, and it looks like mYi is in a very good position. Zarmany actually trying to take the easy golems. He does manage to get away from this one and take them. Lowell going a little bit deep there, immediately gets pushed away by Raal. And you can see that Ace of Spades has rejoined the fight due to the phase shift onto Lowell. Is it phase shift? Not entirely sure if the jump from Brightwing is called phase shift, but whatever. We're just going to go about our own way, but yeah, you have to give it to mYi. They're completely dominating SK, which is already something that you don't see often.
It's true, we don't see SK lose that many games in general. But here we go. SK once again being forced to pull back to their base. There's 2 hard camps and 1 easy camp currently available on the map that they just can't really get to. But it looks like because... Sorry, that's a boss camp, not a hard camp on the side of mYi. And mYi choosing to focus that over the SK hard camp. So it's likely that SK, once they realise that mYi aren't here, they will either move to that hard camp or head down to bot lane to try and contest that tribute, which they're going to decide to do because mYi already has 2 tributes under their belt. Need to grab that watchtower so that mYi won't be able to see them as well as they currently do.
The issue here being is that there's now a Grave Golem in the bottom lane. Raal is trying to take the tribute. He's not going to get there. Ararag is just going to zone out the team of SK Gaming, and they're just it's kind of like a Mexican standoff here right now. But the issue is there's a timer on SK. If they do not go in right now, if they do not fight, that Grave Golem in the bottom lane is going to keep. Here's the fight. It's breaking out.
Shinobu did try to get us down there, but Zarmany's ult was interrupted there. Shinobu somehow almost got out alive, but Raal just tackled straight through and picked him out. But it's Lowell who's dealing the most damage here, able to take down Falstad even through tanking the ultimate, and everyone else is just going to die here. Lowell's back to full health again. He does not care at all. Linked is trying to get out of there. Ace of Spades is actually there. He can throw down a polymorph if he wanted to. Down goes Tyrael, actually. Very nice. The Ace of Spades being dropped down pretty low. He's going to try and chase down Linked. Not going to catch him, but Beezy, no such luck. Lau chasing him to the ends of the earth. And Lau on this Illidan has been spectacular all game. And he's going in again onto Raal.
Yeah, and once Illidan gets ahead, you don't want him on your tail. And also another thing that just happened during the fight is that the tribute was picked up by mYi. It was to be expected, but now mYi is on the core already down to 90% hit points, and Lowell trying his best to just deal as much damage to the core as he can. But I don't think they can actually finish it.
I think he can. Lowell is dancing around here. Happy feet. No, he does go down. Now it's Ace of Spades and Fred on the core doing as much damage as possible. But you might be right, isn't it? They're going to be able to do it. The Blink heal comes in to try and heal Freds. Freds is the last one left, and down he goes. SK defend their core barely. I'm waiting for the precision strike from Nova. What's the cooldown on that? That is...
They already used it. They already used it.
It is down, so they're not going to be able to precision strike, and it wouldn't kill off the core anyway. We now have catapults coming in from the top lane, going to take out some of that shield, but they will be killed off fast. SK heavily on the defense right now.
I shall do no more.
And at this point, the curse runs out, but mYi isn't done yet. They're going to pick up a hard camp again, and they're going to just sit back and wait until they hit level 20. That's all they have to do. One level 20, and then it's all over.
Yep, this is true. We're seeing SK once again going for their own hard camp, trying to get anything just to counter mYi's huge pushing potential. They need to take the pressure off in as many lanes as possible to give them a chance of coming back here. But
it
now
is
they
possible.
have the huge issue of their own boss camp being up. And where do you think mYi is going to head right now?
Well, I'm not really a fortune teller, but I think that mYi is going to be moving a little bit towards that boss camp, although mYi is a little bit late. They only have Lowell there, and that means that SK is going to take their own boss camp for the first time this game. And that might just be enough for SK to at least get themselves back into a fighting position, because they're not that far behind on experience. But should mYi go for a straight dive onto the core, yeah, that's pretty much where it's going to be. It's probably going to be enough for mYi to just flat out tank up the core. I guess they can do that right now.
They can dive it. There is a lot of shield on that core at the moment, so it will be a bit difficult for them to dive through. But with this easy camp and the hard camp, what's left of the hard camp distracting in the top lane, Now is their chance, and here they come. There's already a wave in this bot lane. They're going to attempt to go for the dive here. Fred's just clearing the way, so they get some minions to tank for them. Dasadar trying to delay with the storms, but MYI, they've committed to this. They're too far forward to back out now, and BKB has been iced and envenomed. Here is the team fight.
Nice team fight breaking out. Link's actually trying to get Shinobu out of the fight, but it's not really the damage from Shinobu that's the worst thing. Precision Strike comes out, Shock and Awe finally lands, but it isn't going to be enough. 2 deaths on the side of SK already. 3, 4 from the looks of it. Lowell jumping onto BC. BC might go down here. Oh no, it's going to be MYI who's going to go straight for the core. It goes down. First game of the evening is going to go over to MYI in what I would say one heck of a nail-biter.
That was a very good game. Not as close as the game we saw yesterday, but SK did try their best here, and that was definitely a draft victory by mYi. They were able to read SK perfectly and chose their talents perfectly to go along with it. It was very high sustain, keeping Illidan, who does enough damage as it is, alive. And the triple blood for blood, seriously detrimental because it takes a percentage health. And we also had Giant Killer on people like Illidan, which seriously negates the advantage of having tanks like Diablo and Anubarak.
Yeah, it was one heck of a game, and yeah, like you said, those talents were very integral for the victory of mYi over SK. However, that doesn't mean that the games are over yet. We're going into game number 2, but first a little bit of a music break as